my partner said, do it. Like, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. It's great. Do something for yourself. You deserve it. And my bosses were really encouraging as well. So yeah, I randomly asked our group of regulars who sit at the end of the bar on a Wednesday night that travel a lot, some older gents that sit at the end of the bar and, you know, are big businessmen in town and travel a lot and are at that stage in life where they can just pick up and leave, which should be such a luxury. And I asked them, has anybody traveled to Africa before? And they're like, no, it's like a dream. We'd love to go there. And I said, oh, you know, if you could be bothered, like, have a look into it for me, kind of thing, as a joke as well. And one of them came back to me like maybe 2 weeks later and he goes, hey, I've done the research, I've looked into it multiple times, found this company, African Overland Tours, like it looks like their site. And it kind of just became this like, you know, every Wednesday he'd be asking, have you looked at it yet? Have you looked at it?
Welcome to the African Overland Journal. Well, good morning from South Africa. Good evening to Marli all the way in Australia. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marli. How are you doing?
Thank you for having me. I'm very well, thank you.
Are you excited to talk about your epic adventure that you're going to be taking in a couple of weeks?
Yeah, I'm really excited. It's, you know, I've been talking about it with family and friends, but it'll be nice to delve a little bit further into it and chat a bit more.
Awesome. Well, that's what we're going to be doing today. We're going to be talking about the adventure that you've chosen to go on. And obviously just delving into why you chose now, why you decided Africa is where you want to go, and why you decided you're just going to take 3 to 4 weeks for yourself and invest in yourself and do something extraordinary. So before we get into that, can you just tell me a little bit about yourself? What does everyday life look like for you when you're not planning an epic adventure?
I don't know if I'm planning an epic adventure all the time. This is very not spur of the moment, but this is very different for me. So I live about 3 hours down the coast from Melbourne in Australia, in a coastal town. I have actually just changed roles within our businesses. I was our venue manager for our pub/nightclub that we have down here in Warrnambool. So I was a late night worker. We didn't see, you know, early mornings very often for 3 years. And I've literally just changed at the start of this year. And I now do our events and marketing for our 2 pubs in town. So we've got 2 venues in town, and I've done a bit of a flip in roles, and I no longer have to do the late nights. I don't have to do the nightclub scene, which is really nice because I've, I'm 33 and a lot of my employees and my work colleagues were 18, 21. So yeah, life is pretty exciting and fun. It's, you know, I get to work, deal with DJs and live music and different events in the hospitality industry. And so yeah, lots of fun little things, but definitely wasn't expecting to plan a trip like this for myself, and never really have done anything like this either. So it's a bit new.
We all love a good new experience. It takes us out of our comfort zone, and that's what we need to be doing every day, which is a good thing. And I want to talk to you about what initially sparked your interest into coming through to Africa and why you chose now to do it. In your 33 years of life, what made you choose it now?
Yeah, so I mean, Africa has always been a bucket list kind of place to go. Australia's obviously quite far away, and there's not a lot of, you know, there's opportunities to travel. Everyone has opportunities to travel, but coming from Australia, you've got to, you know, it's a trip. Like, you have to kind of go, okay, let's take 3 weeks, 4 weeks. It's not like, living in the UK or something and being able to jump in on the train to Paris and experience those kind of things. So Africa has always been a bucket list of mine. I randomly, was changing roles, hadn't taken a holiday in 3 years of managing the venue, and sort of said to my bosses at the time when the role was changing, I said, look, I can either stay in the role and take a really big hit of leave because I just really needed. I needed to decompress almost. Like I was stressed and tired and I could feel myself burning out. And, I proposed this job change to them. The role had never been sort of in the venue. And I said, there's 2 options. Either we go down this route of this new role and we find another venue manager to do the late nights and stuff, and I'll take on, still part of the role. So all the events and the functions and the social media and the booking of bands and all of that was all part of my role previously. I'll take all of that with me and I'll continue on doing that and work some better hours. Or I could stay in the role, and that's fine because I love the role and I love the business and I want to be a part of it. But I'm going to need to take some substantial time off because I can feel myself just tanking, and I don't want it to turn into.
Oh, Marli, are you still with us?
He's changed jobs as well. And I said to him, I was like, do you think you'll be able to get holidays? And he goes, no, there's no way that I'll be able to get holidays. And I said, okay, I think I want to book this big random trip to Africa and I want to experience something before, we start talking about like kids and families and things, because I feel like that's, at 33, that's where people expect you to go, especially when all my girlfriends are married and onto their 2nd and 3rd kid, and I'm the friend that was running a nightclub and, looking after 21-year-old employees and the just was what it looked like. But yeah, my partner said, do it. Like, whatever you want to do, I'll support you. It's great. Do something for yourself. You deserve it. And my bosses were really encouraging as well. So yeah, I randomly asked our group of regulars who sit at the end of the bar on a Wednesday night that travel a lot, some older gents that sit at the end of the bar and, are big businessmen in town and travel a lot and are at that stage in life where they could just pick up and leave, which should be such a luxury. And I asked them, has anybody traveled to Africa before? And they're like, no, it's like a dream. We'd love to go there. And I said, oh, if you could be bothered, like, have a look into it for me, kind of thing, as a joke as well. And one of them came back to me like maybe 2 weeks later and he goes, hey, I've done the research, I've looked into it multiple times, found this company, African Overland Tours, like it looks like their site. And it kind of just became this like, every Wednesday he'd be asking, have you looked at it yet? Have you looked at it? And yeah. I'm like looking at it. And yeah, I've never been the kind of person to put myself out there and do these kind of things. It's always like, yeah, I'll talk about it. And like, yeah, it sounds like really fun, but it's too hard. Work's busy and I'm busy and, I can't leave work and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, then the bosses kind of started hearing from the old boy regulars, we've shown Marli this, trips and we think she should go on it, blah, blah, blah. And so then it turned into the bosses going, well, you've got the leave there, like you should take it. So yeah, one of the guys, one of the regulars who found African Overland Tours was like, my wife and I, we'd love to go on this. Like, this is 2026. That's what we're booking. We're doing this. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I can go first and I can tell you what it's like. And he's like, yeah, you have to. And then, yeah, the job change came and it kind of turned into, okay, I'm going to do this. Like, all right, let's just pull our fingers out. I've got, the savings there. Let's make a reality. And so that's when I reached out. And yeah, now I'm going.
Oh, that's amazing.
Crazy.
So, like, firstly, these group of guys that are your regulars that come into the bar, thank you to them for recommending us.
Yeah.
Even
no, absolutely.
Haven't been on it. That's something amazing. I mean, it also just shows the impact of this form of travel, which is what we like to talk about. How overlanding, it's a very different form of travel than just hopping on a plane and renting a car and exploring, a city or a town. So you're really in for quite a wild ride. And when your friend books, he needs to let us know.
No, definitely. It is funny, like he, is getting excited and asking me like, when do you leave again? And are you going to set up an Instagram so we can follow along? And I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'll be setting up an Instagram, guys. I'm not really my social media is there, but she gets posted on maybe every 4 months and it's like, oh, here's a dump. So I have been added into a WhatsApp group though by the old boys, and I said I'll send some photos into the WhatsApp group for you. So they're very excited, and yeah.
I think what I love most about the story and how you came about into the I'm gonna do this is that it wasn't just your own singular decision. It was a trade. So it went from this group of guys who obviously have your best interests at heart and they know that you need to experience something great. Then they were talking to your bosses and your bosses were like, you've got to get on the truck.
Go. Yeah, no. And I think the other thing that like made it, an easy yes, I guess, was my mum was very worried when I said I wanted to go to Africa, and being by myself and a solo female traveler, which is, I know is nerve-wracking. And I mean, I'm anxious about it myself, but my mother being a school counselor and stuff, but she was very anxious. And when I said that it was a tour and, I was showing her everything, I think it really calmed her nerves and she was a lot more supportive of it. And yeah, there was a moment there where she was jokingly saying to my dad, like, I think I'll go with her. Like, we can't let her travel by herself. I'll go with her, kind of thing, Like, all right, well, if you want to, like, whatever.
I mean, she might enjoy it. She never knows. Moms need a break too.
Never know. Yeah, definitely. But
I actually want to unpack that a little bit, the misconceptions and maybe the myths or, things that you heard of Africa or overland travel that you had to, are there any myths or misconceptions that you've had to unlearn while preparing yourself for this trip?
I don't know if there's myths as such or misconceptions necessarily. I think more just, I think doing getting into your car and just driving around the corner from your home can have risks. It's the sense of kind of letting that go and almost saying, okay, well, like if I don't do it, I'll never know. Like this could be the most amazing trip ever and nothing scary will happen at all and I'll come back a changed person. Or, shit happens, I guess. Excuse my language. But yeah, I think it was more the fact that my mum was nervous. Like my mum definitely had some concerns about being a solo female traveler over there. And I think just everything that's going on in the world at the moment was nerve-wracking for her, and it's really nerve-wracking for me. Like I've never traveled by myself before, ever. So this will be the first time. I don't know what I'm thinking. Like, this is mental. Go to Bali or something first, babe. Like, get through that airport on your own. Like, don't travel across the world by yourself. That's insane. But anyway, we're doing it, and I think it's okay to be nervous. It's what makes it exciting as well at the same time. So, yeah, I think she definitely has some fears, and I mean, I'm her child. Like, she has fears for all of us.
Of course.
My brother lives 2 hours down the road and she's nervous about him coming home on the weekends. Make sure you text me when you're leaving. Make sure you text me when you get back home, all of that kind of stuff. So, yeah, I don't know if there's necessarily misconceptions. I think when I tell people that Africa is where I'm going on my big holiday, you know, I can see their faces kind of go, who are you going with? And when I say, oh, you know, I'm going by myself, and they're like, oh, wow, that's like brave. It's, yeah, I think there is a little bit of that. Is it unsafe? Like, are you going to be safe? And, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So
The general questions of like safety and
yeah,
but also
yeah,
you're never
yeah.
gonna know up until you jump on that plane and you actually do it.
And that's exactly right. And, you know, as I said before, I mean, everything comes with a risk. Walking down the street these days comes with a risk. Like, you just got to do it. I think, yeah, I'll be anxious, and yeah, I'm nervous at the moment. And, you know, I'm looking at the countdown on my phone that says 50 odd days till I go, and I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But also I'm sort of one of those people that's, you know, I'm a middle class and I work really hard for everything that I've got. And, you know, at this point, I'm like, a lot of money has gone into this. You're not backing out. You're going. Like, there's no other option. Like, the nerves are okay, and they're going to sit there. But yeah, exactly. And it's like, just take one day at a time. Like, I think once I'm there and I'm, you know, the tour starts and you get to know people. Like, I mean, it's like anything. You start a new job and you're anxious about the people that you're going to meet. I think once, you know, day 4 or 5 sets in and you're like, okay, I'm with these people for the next month or so. Like, I think the nerves will disappear, and hopefully they'll just be this really lovely, like, older couple that I can become their adopted daughter and be like, do you need a surrogate daughter for the next 42 days? I'm really fun. I can carry bags. I'm quite strong. I love to have a glass of red at night, you know, like, hopefully there'll just be some surrogate parents on the trip that I can just attach myself to.
I can definitely attest to that, because when I was on my tour, I was the youngest on my tour, and everybody just adopted me as their child at that point.
Amazing. See, that's the kind of like information that I need.
You've got nothing to worry about. You're going to become everybody's baby. Plus, I was also the shortest one in the group for some reason. So every time we were at like a gas station or somewhere and we would stop, everybody would call out, "Where's Mishka? Can everybody see Mishka? Where is she?" I'm like, yeah, guys, haven't gone anywhere. So trust me, you are going to be just fine. Speaking of, you know, any fears or hesitations, did you have any fears or hesitations before actually booking, and how did you overcome them?
Yeah, I think like weirdly, the fears that I had the most, I mean, I'm a workaholic. Like, I love my job and I love to know that I'm doing a good job for our businesses and stuff. Like, I thrive on that. And especially now that I've switched roles and I'm doing more events and stuff, like, I love seeing the output of that effort that I've put in. So I think the biggest fear was, am I leaving them in the lurch? Are they going to be mad at me for taking 6 weeks off? Like, that's a long time. Like, things can go wrong. I got to relax. I got to calm down. Like, the business isn't going to burn down. It's going to be fine. There's a whole group of our managers and stuff for both businesses. Like, the baby's going to be okay. I can leave it. It's going to be fine. But I am definitely a control freak, and I'm weird. I'm very much a control freak when it comes to like organizing stuff and setting things up. As soon as it's here, go with the flow. Like, you know what I mean? So the lead up to this trip, especially, type A, crazy. I'm getting all my, like, I've just been to my doctor's this last week to talk about like the vaccinations, and I was like, okay, what do I need? They went through the list of things. I was like, great. So is there any that, and it was like, give me the schedule of when I need to get all of these things. Let me work off a schedule. Like, let's lock everything in. Let's get it sorted, because I can't sleep at night knowing that I haven't done that. The spare bedroom in our house has become the dumping room of like packing, and like, I know my passport's in there. I know, my bags are in there. I know my shoes are in there. Like, as I'm collecting things to get ready, it's like, it's going in that room because I need to know where it is. I can't just like put it away and then come to it, in a month's time and go, okay, it's time to pack. Like, no, can't do that. But once I get on this trip, we get to go like wander around and like have a day to ourselves. Cool. What are we doing? Where's that surrogate mum and dad that I've attached myself to? What are we doing for the day? So, I think the fear of leaving work, leaving my family as well. Like, I've chosen to, so Warrnambool, which is where I live in Australia, is my hometown, born and bred. I made the decision to stay here. My grandmother still lives in her home. She's 94. She's a gem of a human being. There's that fear. I'm going to be away for a month and a half. I'm going to tell her that she's not allowed to go anywhere.
Yes,
she has to. She's not allowed to get sick. None of that. Like, those rational fears that just don't make sense. And it's not necessarily,
like, what if I leave
the what ifs. Yeah, and it's the things that I feel like the trip, I can't control what happens there. Like, let's go with the flow. You tell me where we're going. I am okay with that. I definitely, when it comes to my job and my work, like, I'm good. Let me make the decisions. Let me, like, if you are giving me a job, okay, great. I got this. Let me go. When I get home at night, though, when I'm go on this trip, I don't want to be making the decisions. You tell me. Like, let me just passenger princess this the whole way. Like, where are we going? Okay, great. Just make sure I'm with you. Don't leave without me, kind of thing. But no, I think the fears are definitely prior. What's going to happen? Like, what's happening back home?
Yeah. But I think also once you end up making that actual booking at some point, then all of the what ifs are like, you can't really worry about those what ifs because you've already spent a big chunk of your money.
Absolutely. And I think it was when, so like, I did not have the funds to just do one big payment, so loved the sort of ability to do deposits and things like that. Made it even more accessible and me want to go with you guys. I think it was when I'd done my first two deposits, and then I was like booking flights, and I booked the flights and I was like, okay, there's no backing out now. This is a lot of money. Like, that's it. There's no more fears. You got to go. Like, you're going. Put the date in your calendar, like, countdown's on, kind of thing. So, yeah, I'm glad when I finally did book the flights. Like, I think in my head, I would have, if I had have cancelled or for some reason like pulled out, like gotten in my head too much and pulled out, the deposit would have been like, okay, like, you lose deposits all the time, whatever. But I think when I booked the flights, that was the thing that like locked me in and was like, you got to get over it. You got to get over your fears. Like, this is happening. You're going, kind of. So, yeah.
I think that's the tip to start giving everybody. Just book your flights and then there's no turning back.
No turning back. You can't. They're so expensive. And they don't care that you want to cancel. They're like, okay, we'll take your money.
And bye. Also, like you said, you're 33 years old. It's not like you're, like in your 50s and 60s where you saved up all your retirement and you're taking now your retirement money to do this. Yeah. You're doing this while you're working a full-time job, while you're living an everyday life, and you're still taking that time, that 6 weeks, to do something for yourself. It's really, really inspiring.
Yeah. I don't know about that. I'm sure there's I see all these like 20-year-olds that are like taking uni breaks and going overseas and stuff. And I'm like, how are you affording this? First of all,
I've had
I
those
was eating
for many
2-minute
years.
noodles. I was eating 2-minute noodles at uni and you're going over to Europe. What's happening?
But it also just shows that not everybody's journey is the same, and we can be proud of our own journeys, which is really nice.
Exactly. It's a lot of my girlfriends that are all settled down and with kids and stuff now, you know, they did a lot of travel in their 20s and did that. I definitely took the different path. Like I was straight into work and that's where my passion lied. And, you know, I enjoyed doing all of my, you know, extracurricular kind of stuff. Like I was involved heavily in life-saving in Australia and basketball and sports and things like that. And, you know, basketball season ran over the winter here and life-saving obviously runs over the summer. So there's never sort of that break to want to do or be able to go. And yeah, it's definitely interesting when I talk to my girlfriends and they're like, oh my God, we're so jealous. Like, it sounds amazing, like blah, 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 blah. And yeah, it's funny. I'm definitely in a different era, as we're calling it, to my girlfriends. They're in their family era and their kids are amazing. And like, I'm the best auntie to them that I can be. And so cool Auntie Marli is going to Africa and all the kids are really excited. And I've been told what animals I have to take photos of. I've had to explain that it's not like a zoo. I guarantee that I will get these photos. But if I have to Google an image to send it to them, I will.
I mean, you're quite lucky. You've got 42 days. So you've got 42 days to gather up all pictures of all of
I feel like we should get at least, you know, the major 5 that all the kids are asking for. So it should be okay.
Speaking of, you know, major things and capturing all of those moments, were there any bucket list experiences within the tour that you were like, I have to do this, and this is why I want to do this tour?
Yeah. Like when I look at the tour breakdown and I see the Serengeti at the end of the trip, like I feel like I'm gonna like not know what to do when I'm there, if that makes sense. Like I don't at the moment I can't picture it. I can't imagine being like seeing those animals in their natural habitat. Like it doesn't seem real. And I'm really, really excited about that. Like the game drives and stuff are definitely at the top of my bucket list. Like that's just something that, you know, we don't have over here in Australia. Like I can roll down to the zoo in Melbourne and I can see, you know, some different animals, but yeah, like I'm so excited for that. Like I'm so excited for the game drives. I just think it's going to be the most amazing experience ever. And yeah, it doesn't, as I said, it doesn't feel real. Like you see it in pictures and in movies and, you know, online and stuff. And I obviously see this stuff. My phone is definitely hearing that I'm heading to Africa because my TikTok is just like safari, different safaris, like, and that seems it doesn't seem real that I'll be doing that. You know,
it's very different when you jump from the screen and see it in real life. It's almost surreal. You can't believe it, in all honesty.
Yeah, and even like, you know, like the islands and stuff and just the scenery. Like I'm one of those people that like if I go somewhere and there's like a museum or like, you know, a gardens or something, I'm like, yep, take me there. Like, let's go have a look. I'm very keen to just wander. So yeah, I think that's the Serengeti is definitely the bucket list item that's right up there. It's at the top of the list and it was definitely a selling point for me.
Okay. Okay, great. Well, thank you so much for sharing that. And for anybody else who's thinking about doing the 42-day Cape Town to Nairobi, if Serengeti is your thing, then go ahead and book it. But just another
Like the
thing,
last thing as well on the trip. So
I mean, it's probably
way
going to
to-
be one of your biggest highlights, and I think that that's pretty special.
Mm.
So I can't wait to have you back on here and actually hear what you've actually felt about it in that moment when you first got to see it. So I'm really excited to chat to you again. But before we get into obviously what we're going to be chatting about when we see you again, I want to chat to you about, you know, you're 33, young at heart, and you have chosen an accommodated tour versus a camping tour. And I wanted to know why you chose, because usually we see like the younger people, we would generally choose like a camping tour, you know, they're more adventurous. Tell me what sparked the interest for an accommodated tour for you?
Okay, I'm going to be so real. And this is going to sound terrible and very spoiled. But when I was like emailing backwards and forwards, and I was like, okay, so realistically, tell me the price difference between camping and accommodated. And, you know, if it had been upwards of like $7,000, yeah, I'll not slum it. The camping, I'm sure, is not slumming it at all. I don't want to sound like that. But I'd be like, yeah, camping, I can do camping. I'm not that out of touch. I can definitely do camping. When it wasn't that much expensive, I was like, no, hell no. I am not camping. If I'm going away for 42 days, I'm going to be comfortable. I want to sleep in a bed. I want to have a bathroom.
Your own bathroom, I would like to add.
In my own bathroom. Yes, exactly. I'm already stepping out of my comfort zone. Like, let's not throw my anxiety through the roof. Let's not have to deal with like camping all the time. And like, I know that there is a couple of points in the trip where we're, you know, the Serengeti, for instance, we're in tents and stuff, and like totally fine. I can camp. I don't want it to sound like I can't camp, but no, when it wasn't that much more expensive, I was like, give me the bed. I said before, like, I'm happy to be a passenger princess in this sense. So, like, no, it came down to a monetary thing. If it wasn't that much more expensive, I was going to be comfortable. It just, I couldn't help it.
But also, if you weren't comfortable, you probably weren't going to enjoy yourself.
Exactly. I would make the most of it, though.
Decision for yourself, in all honesty.
I was like, if I'm already spending this much amount of money to like go to Africa and be there for almost 6 weeks, like, why not? Well, like, what's an extra, you know, however much it was?
Yeah.
It didn't make, and it's already really reasonable. So, like, I couldn't knock it, honestly. I was, give me the bedroom, please and thank you.
I think the major perk for me is just you having your own bathroom. That's the major perk for me. But obviously, there's some people who there was a guy on the tour that I was on, and he goes on overland tours all of the time, and he always camps. And he's got his routine of camping down to a T. Like he knows exactly how to set up that tent by himself. He was brilliant at it. Like he knew exactly what to do. And I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing.
Yeah, and you know what? If that's your jam, go for it. Like, good props to everybody that is camping. Honestly, props to them. And that was the other thing. Like, I think, you know, when I was like researching it and like, you know, I had a general idea of what overlanding was, and it didn't appeal to me to want to set a tent up at the end of the day.
Yeah.
Like, I want to enjoy every experience and, you know, if I'm wrecked at the end of a day because we've been up early and we've done some really cool things, or, you know, walked through a town, or, you know, been on a hike and things like that, like, and I just want to pass out from exhaustion, setting up a tent wasn't on my bucket list, unfortunately. And I give mad props to people that can do that. And I give mad props to people that want to do that, because I just think you are a true traveler. You are getting the full experience, and I love that for you. I wanted 95% of the experience. I wanted, I think I know what I'm like when I can get in my head and anxious as well. So even the ability to just take myself away and, like, you know, have just some alone time and some me time. I mean, at the end of the, you know, it's a lot. 42 days with a group of people is a lot. And, like, you don't want to be that horrible person that's, you know, in a grumpy mood and stuff. So, like, being able to recognize what your coping mechanisms are and how you react to things, and being able to step away from the group and be able to, you know, recenter yourself and come back and make sure that you're the best person to be around, I think is really important as well. And that's something that, like, I really care about for myself and everybody around me, I guess.
I think you brought up such an important point about being on the road for these long haul type of stuff, and the reality of what it can take on your physical self, your mental self. Because again, being on the road all day with a bunch of people on a truck, it can't always be perfect. I mean, sometimes you need a little bit of your own time. Sometimes you need to just sit in your own thoughts and in your own feelings, take your book and chill by the pool for a little bit. Like, those are things that you are going to have to do to keep yourself, you know, grounded.
Yeah, definitely. I think I think at the end of the day, like, I want to experience everything that this trip has to offer, and I want to be able to do as much as I possibly can. Like, this feels like a once in a lifetime trip. Like, I hope when we sit back down afterwards, I'm saying, yep, I'll be back. I will definitely be back. Let's book me in another trip. Like, that was amazing. I can't believe how insane it was. Why haven't I done it sooner? But, like, the reality a little bit is probably like, okay, it's probably not going to happen, you know, in the next year or two. So I want to be able to experience everything, and I want to walk away knowing that I was open to doing everything, and I really just, you know, laid myself out there and was as raw as I possibly could be, and experience everything, and hopefully come back a different person, and hopefully come back changed, I guess. You know, you hear all these stories and, like, listening to different podcasts and stuff, and they say that traveling in Africa is like nothing you will ever do, and people that travel there really do come back with a different outlook on life. And yeah, I think that is really amazing, and I really hope that I get to experience that. And yeah, I think looking after yourself, especially for as long as this trip is really important. And yeah, it's okay to step away from the group for a minute and take a second to debrief with yourself and, you know, take the time. So yeah, accommodated all the way for me.
Accommodated all the way. Well, again, we've touched on some really important points, and I think it also just not just from being on the tour when you are on the tour, but the preparation that it takes before you go on tour. So how are you preparing, like, mentally, physically, or even just in the packing sense? I know you said, you know, you've turned the guest bedroom into your packing room. How are you preparing for your 42 days road?
Yeah, unfortunately, we've got no guests staying over at the house anytime soon, because I'm not moving anything out of that bedroom. They can sleep on the couch if they like. To be honest with you, I feel like it'll become more real next month, like in July maybe. I'll start to, like, at the moment it still feels like it's not really happening. I don't know, that's a really weird thing to say, because, like, flights are being booked. You know, the trip has been paid for, like, you're going, like, things are being bought. You know, I had to get a new passport, which I was terribly annoyed about, but Anyway, like that's been done. Like I'm getting on Friday 3 vaccinations on one day are being jammed into my arm. Like things are happening. Like we're getting organized. Mentally, I think I'm trying really hard not to think about it at the moment because I can feel myself slipping into anxiety more than anything else. And I just don't think that's healthy for me. Like I've still got 2 months odd, 50 odd days worth of work. And like, yeah, if I start letting that anxiety slip in, it will just throw me completely. But I think once July comes around, like the anxiety will hopefully turn into excitement.
Yeah.
And I can have those two feelings kind of hopefully play off each other a little bit and not let the anxiety side of things take over too much. Physically, does walking up and down the stairs at work count? I had every intentions. I did have every intentions. Like I said to my lovely gym that I go to, and it's this all-female gym in town run by these amazing women. That's actually called Fit After 40, and they have lovingly taken me in, even though I'm not over 40, which was very nice of them. And, I'd said to them at the start of the year, like, I'm booking this trip and, like, I'm going. And they're like, great, like, what do you need? Like, what are you doing? And I'm like, I really want to, when August rolls around, I want to feel like my bad knees that have come from playing basketball for years aren't going to like buckle on me the first time we walk around somewhere. Like, and I just want to feel like healthy and good about myself kind of thing. Yeah, that has not happened. We have not done that. The gym routine has been scarce. And I think it's just because, like, as I said, I'm a workaholic. So, like, work has taken over. I'm probably trying to make sure that when I'm away, like, the job doesn't feel like I'm away, and I've put everything in place that I need to so that the people around me feel like I haven't just gone, oh, peace, guys, I'm going on holidays. Have fun, you sort it out kind of thing. Yeah. So physically walking up and down the stairs into the cellar.
I think the physical part will come afterwards. And I'm saying this from experience. Because when I was on tour, I did a gorilla trek. Okay. I did a gorilla trek. Wow. That is not easy. For people who don't work out.
It sounds amazing.
It was amazing, but it was not easy. But so I did my tour in December, and I've kept the momentum going every day since. Like, I go on a walk every day or run every day, because I was like, I was so fit. I was doing like 10K steps a day when I was in Uganda. I'm like, I'm going to keep this going. Granted, I'm pretty sure half of it was from the bumpy roads of the truck. Like, I think that I was recording the steps from there. But in my head, I was doing it. So
hey, we don't need to.
I am.
No, you were definitely walking it.
That is what I am. So your fitness goals will come into play when you get back. Okay. You don't have to worry about it.
Amazing.
I'm sure your knees are not going to buckle when you're walking up the dunes. You're just fine.
Yeah. Right.
But promise me that you will walk up the dune. Like, you have to try. You have to try.
Absolutely. Oh my God. I want to like sandboard and stuff. Like, blow my knee out, whatever. I've got travel insurance. We'll be fine. Strap my knee. I've done worse things on the basketball court. Like, I'll take some strapping tape in my first aid kit. We'll be sweet.
You'll be good. I'm glad that you're saying that you just want to try everything. Like, you're going to do the sandboarding and everything. Is there any experiences besides obviously the game drives and the Serengeti that you're really looking forward to, or any optional activities that were in your itinerary that you want to take on?
Yeah, there's a couple that like I would love to do. So I am a water baby through and through. Like, put me in the ocean, I'm totally fine. On a body of water, great, I love it. Like, cage diving with sharks, totally my jam. Let's do that. I am a terrible flyer. So I think that's what the anxiety as well is a little bit, because I'm obviously going by myself, is like flying by myself is sending me into a panic, because whose hand am I holding on to? Hate flying. I would love to do the hot air balloon activity, the safari, or like the scenic flight. Like, I would love to push myself out of my comfort zone and do something like that. Don't know if it'll happen, but I would love to, kind of get closer to the date and be like, yep, let's do it. Let's book that one. That sounds sick. Let's freak out when we're up there. But, I have been skydiving once and it was a horrible experience. Literally, the plane started up and I started bawling my eyes out. The video nobody has seen. It's just me crying and swearing. Thank God they put music over the top of it, because it would be a horrific video. So I'd really like to do, one of those activities and just really push myself out of my comfort zone. But yeah, like the canoeing down the river and stuff, like that sounds awesome. Like whitewater rafting, amazing. My uncle used to be a whitewater rafting instructor all over the world, and he probably would tell me not to do it because it's quite dangerous, but it sounds amazing. And that's like, yes, bodies of water, put me in them.
Sign me up.
Up in the air, not so much.
Bodies of water. Are you a Pisces?
Yeah, I am. Very much a Pisces.
I know Pisces when I see one.
Yes, very, very much a Pisces. So, yeah.
Awesome. Well, I really wish that you were going to spend a couple of extra days. I probably would have made a plan to come and meet you somewhere, because I think that we are clearly twin flames. Speaking of, you said your uncle was a whitewater rafter instructor and he may think that it's a little bit dangerous or whatever. What was the kind of support that you received from your family and friends? I know your mom was obviously nervous. Your girlfriends were like, oh my gosh, that's so exciting. But like, what is the general consensus?
Yeah, I think shock when I say it. Honestly shocked. It's just one of those, like, Africa to me, and I think to a lot of my friends and family, just is not one of those places that they're like, yep, that's where I'm traveling to. It's lots of trips to Bali have happened, and my auntie and uncle actually have a property over there, so like the family have been over quite often. We've got relatives in Europe and stuff, so family have gone over there, and girlfriends have lived over in the UK for a while after university. And I just think it's shock. I think it's one of those things that they're like, what? Why? And I'm like, have you like seen that place? It looks like it's not real, and I want to go see if it's real, kind of thing. Yeah, my mum was nervous, especially when I said that I wanted to go to Africa. And then when I told her that I was going to be doing the tour, and it was like, we're going through 8 countries. She goes, like, whereabouts? What 8 countries? Are you going to be close to, X, Y, and Z? We're like, what's the deal? My dad is very laid back, and he's just like, yeah, go for it. Like, do it. You have to do it, kind of thing. The brothers, my younger brother, I've got 2 younger brothers, and one of them is a teacher, and he's actually hoping to head overseas and teach somewhere remote, and so he's excited for me. He's like, come back and tell me which place you like the best, like, because that's where I want to go next year, kind of thing. And so yeah, I think excited, shocked and excited for me. I think my partner is very jealous that he isn't able to take the time off work and come, but I mean, I feel like it's going to be one of those things where I'm like, okay, in 2 years' time, we're going to go back. You surely should have leave by that stage. Like,
no leave for
to
Christmas
Africa.
and New Year for you anymore.
Yeah. None of that. Don't take leave for stupid things. Like, let's just back that up. But no, I think really excited. So yeah.
It's a good transition though, from going from, shocked to be like, oh my God, why are you going there? To we're so excited for you. That is amazing. Come and tell us everything. And I think that you're gonna have some epic stories to share. And yeah.
I definitely think so.
I really love that, you've got like a tribe in your circle that you can go to and be like, listen, I'm doing this. And I'm definitely going to come back and tell everybody else to do it. I think that that's what you're going to be like.
Absolutely. I'm going to be that person that is spruiking it for sure and telling people to go. So,
oh, great. But have you had any other people that you know that has been to Africa before and they've shared their experience with you that has maybe inspired you? Or was this just, a place that you've always wanted to go?
No, not really. Like, I haven't. I'm trying to think now. No, I don't think so. I have always like really wanted to go. My family background, my dad's side of the family are South Sea Islander, from Vanuatu, and we've kind of done our DNA testing just to like see sort of what other mix we've got in there, and there was definitely some South African in there, and so some different things mixed in there, Indian, that kind of stuff, and it just feels like one of those places that just looks really magical and like it's not real, and I just feel like I haven't started a family of my own yet, but it's definitely something that my partner and I are looking at doing in the near future. And Africa just feels like one of those places that I don't want to do with kids hanging off me. I want to experience it and enjoy it. And I'm sure I would enjoy it with my family. That's not what I'm saying. But, Europe feels like one of those places where, you go and you take the kids and you do England and the UK, and then you go to Paris and you go to Disneyland and all of that kind of stuff, and it all sounds very fun and like straight down the line, but Africa feels like an adventure that I just really wanted to experience, and I wanted to experience it for myself, and I wanted to just be able to, when I'm my grandmother's age at 94, hopefully I'm still kicking, I'm saying if my granddaughter or whoever comes to me and because I asked my grand, I said, did you and Pa ever do Africa? They traveled a lot back in their younger days, and she said no, it was never a place that we got to. We had always spoken about it. It was one of the places that your Pa really wanted to go, and so I am excited to be able to say, I've done that. Like, I've been there and it was amazing, and you have to go experience it yourself. And like, I just think being able to do that just sounds awesome. And I'm excited to be that person that has traveled to Africa.
I mean, it definitely sounds like you are already in this like transition of changing into a different person. So I'm really excited to see what you come back like. But what do you think post-trip Marli will be most surprised about after her tour? What do you think you'll be most surprised about?
I'm not sure. I hope I'm, if I have changed, I hope I'm changed for the better, and I hope I come back with a different outlook on life. I go back and keep saying that I'm very much a workaholic, and hopefully I have learnt a bit more of a work-life balance. I think that's something that I definitely don't have. I think it's something that I definitely need. And I hope that this trip really opens my mind up to that. And I hope it really sparks a later in life travel bug that I probably didn't have in my early 20s when, you know, a lot of my friends were doing that and experiencing things like, and I think it will. I definitely think it will. Like, talking about this trip tonight and stuff has gotten me definitely more excited, and I can't wait to see that countdown tick closer and closer. It's, yeah, so I hope that I've come back with a little travel bug and a better insight into a work-life balance.
I think that those are two really good, for lack of a better word, I'm gonna call it deliverables that you've given yourself. You're gonna come back, but more of a seasoned traveler who's, you know, got everything in her mind of what she wants to do, and she's gonna start planning all of her trips everywhere, and whether it's local or international, she's just gonna be like, I just want to get out. I need to do more things. I need to use my leave. I think that's what you're gonna be. And I think
yeah, definitely. I think so.
So obviously we've now come to the end, but I wanted to do a little quick fire round with you. Just say the first thing that pops into your head. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I think I already know the answer to this question. Camping or comfy bed?
Oh my God, comfy bed.
Shower or swimming in a waterfall?
Swimming in a waterfall.
Awesome. First thing you'll do when you arrive in Cape Town?
Maybe cry. Just have a little anxiety attack. Just a slight one, and go, oh my God, what am I doing?
That's very nice.
Hopefully maybe just like a sleep, just to like regulate everything.
Well, you do depart on your tour the next day, so I can understand.
The next day, yes. Yes.
One animal you hoped to spot on safari?
Oh, I like a lion cub. Just any kind of like baby. I feel like just a tiny version of the animal, I'll lose my mind.
A snack that you are most likely to be caught on track eating?
Or anything salty, like pretzels or, yes, savory, not a sweet person, so salt.
Planner or go with the flow type of girl?
A bit of both, but probably planner. Type A.
Type A. Music or podcasts?
Music.
Would you rather lose your phone or your passport, but both get returned?
Oh, passport. Are you kidding me? I would have a mental breakdown if my phone. At least with my phone, I can call my mum and be like, I lost my passport. What do I do?
Okay. Describe your tour in one word.
Exciting.
If this tour had a theme song, what would it be?
Ooh. Like right now in this moment, it's probably like Anxiety by Doechii. But I feel like that is not the right answer at all. Please ask me this question like again when we come back, because
of course
it will not, there'll be something, it will be a way better song choice. But right now in this moment, the theme song for this tour coming into it is definitely Anxiety by Doechii. Yeah.
That's fine. And what's the first thing you will tell people when you get back? To go to Africa. Book the trip. Do it. Do it. Just do it. Yeah, just do it. It was amazing. Just do it. Well, that's all I'd love to hear. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. And we will be chatting to you again when you get back from your tour, which should be, I think you get back around September. I get back at the
end of September, yeah. So it's like the 29th, I think I fly back into Australia. So
Right.
yeah.
I'll
End of
obviously give you some time to
September.
regroup and get back to work and be like, did everybody survive without me?
I might come back and go, oh, can I go for a bit longer, or do you guys
Can I get another 6 weeks? Did I lose you? Are you still there? And I think you're back. You're back, Marli? I'm not sure if we still have Marli. I don't know if she's still there. I can see her eyes moving, but I'm not sure if she's still there. But thank you, everybody, for joining this webinar today. It's been amazing chatting to Marli and getting to hear her thoughts before she goes on the road. And I'm excited to chat to you when you get back. Thank you, Marli.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye. Have the best trip and chat to you soon.
Bye.